Hey, how you doing? This is Sage Hero. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Friday now, June 26th. It's past midnight. Today we're going to be talking about the recent events in the gaming industry and Twitch, and also the Twitch blackout that occurred now 2 days ago on Wednesday the 24th. I want to make it clear some of the things we're going to be talking about here are heavy topics, so there's a little bit of a content warning. And I also want to say this is not like one of my usual streams. This is not what I usually do. I think I've streamed, this is like the second time ever I've streamed just chatting. I'm usually a speedrunner, and I've done some like Let's Plays and some like MMO raid streams. So it's like all over the place for me. But this is not what I usually do. But I felt like I had to speak up on this one in particular. So I don't plan on getting like nitty gritty details and like detailing exactly who has said this person said this person did what. I don't want it to be a drama stream. I've ever had a wheelie poppin' stream. No, I have not. I also wanted to say thank you for the follows. I see a couple people followed. I felt like it would be inappropriate to have funny meme noises over this chat. But I do appreciate it anyways. So again, I don't plan on getting into nitty-gritty details. I don't want it to be drama. I don't want it to be like traumatizing level of details, but we are going to be talking about some serious like misogyny, sexual misconduct, or assault related things. So just content warning. That's what this is about. There's no pulling it apart. There's no splitting those two. I'm not going to go into detail any more than I have to, but there's no way around acknowledging it. So, starting with a brief overview in case anyone, and there's plenty of other things going in the world right now. Like there's COVID, there's Black Lives Matter, it's Pride Month. There's a ton of crap going on in the world. So I don't blame anyone who hasn't been up to date on the game industry stuff. But basically, since late last week, a lot of women came out mostly on social media with stories about discrimination in the game industry. And this ranges from discrimination like workplace discrimination to just general misogynist attitudes towards actual sexual misconduct, sometimes even including like physical sexual assault. And then just the general like life of women in the game industry. And some of them were game developers, like programmers. Other ones were like artists that worked on games. Some of them were game journalists, and a significant number of them, according to the New York Times, they know of at least 70 Twitch partners, like female Twitch partners that have come forward with stories about sexual discrimination or misconduct related to Twitch. So that's like a pretty big number. I don't know how many Twitch partners there are, but that seems like a pretty big number to me. And a lot of them spoke real candidly about the kind of treatment that they received in the game industry. Some of them came forward anonymously. Some of them came forward but didn't mention who they were talking about. And some of them named names. And one of the scary things to me, there was actually one Twitch streamer and a partner with a pretty big stream that I actually really used to like and follow. I used to watch some of his speedruns, and he like one abuse allegation came out against him, like domestic violence kind of stuff, and then another one, and then another one, and then sure enough, there's like 4 more people talking, not as serious, but like, yeah, I met him once, and like within 5 minutes, he grabbed my ass, like. And that was really jarring. So it was like, okay, again, I can't prove everyone accused is guilty of what they're accused of, but I kind of find it hard to believe, especially when I trust some of the people that came forward. Like I knew some of those streamers, and I was shocked to hear that it was just like, Jesus Christ, like this is true. Like this is undeniably like you can't close your eyes and ignore it anymore. And I knew that kind of thing happened on an intellectual level, but it's different when you actually hear like a specific incident of it happening, and you hear about the details, it's like, Jesus Christ. So some of them were actually pretty influential people, in addition to allegations against other Twitch streamers and partners. Some of them were complaints. I'm not sure if it's actually an allegation or more of a complaint that Twitch staff laughed it off. But there were some complaints about actual Twitch, not even Twitch staff, like Twitch executive management. And there was at least one allegation, a pretty serious one, against the CEO of a talent management company that dealt with streamers, to the point where the CEO actually resigned from the company he founded. So, I mean, fairly serious accusations. And some of these did they played through in a part of the way, like on the actual Twitch website. Obviously, maybe not all of it happens on the Twitch website, but some of it played through, or some of these stories happen at Twitch events like TwitchCon or something like that. And it kind of upset me, because this is my backyard, kind of. And if you follow me on Twitter, I talk about, like, I'm not afraid to talk about, like, Black Lives Matter or something like that. Not afraid at all. But, I'm upset because I talk with my hands. But if I zoom this camera out anymore, you'll see the edges of the green screen. So I have to kind of, like, actively hold my hands in front of me so you can see them. But it's my backyard. It's not like it's happening. If something happens and, like, on the other side of the country, I can voice my support. I can tell people about it. I can raise awareness. I can even sometimes donate money. If there's a call to donate money to, I can send a little bit of money their way if I have a little bit extra to spare. But I don't really know it intimately like that. It's not like, whoa, I went to that school or something like that. This is a little more personal to me, because I'm part of this community, and I can't no true Scotsman it out. If you don't know what a no true Scotsman fallacy is, it's kind of when you, basically, if you say, oh, the example given is like, oh, no Scotsman would ever murder someone. Scottish people are well-behaved people. And then when you find out that, well, a Scottish person actually did murder some people, you go, well, no true Scotsman would ever. And the definition, you're baking qualities into the definition that make no sense. No Scotsman is a murderer if the definition of Scotsman is you're not a murderer. Therefore, all murderers are not Scotsmen. It doesn't make any sense. So I can't define away, oh, it's those streamers over there. They're the problem. It's a problem we all have to deal with. We're all part of the Twitch community. We're all part of the Twitch culture. We build the Twitch culture ourselves. Like, the Twitch company does some of it, but really we're the ones that make the content. Like, we're the ones that make the content. We're the ones that get people to tune in and listen to us and put eyeballs on us. And we're the ones that, like, talk to people who tune in. So we have to help fix this. Anyways, the people accused reacted in various ways. Some of them are silence. Some of them are denial. Some of them are outright admission. Yes, I did everything. I want to point out that the one streamer that I was really upset about did say that he was going to go get, like, professional help. And I think that's a good thing. Not that gets him off the hook. Like, it's your job to make sure you're a good person. It's not anyone else's fault to ensure that you're being a good person. But it's good that you're taking responsibility. You're saying, I'm going to go improve myself. I'm not going to be this kind of scummy person anymore. So I think that's good. Doesn't get you scot-free off the hook, but that's the correct response, I feel like. Let me see. Sorry, I had some notes here. There's way too many to detail. Someone started a Google Doc of, like, all the allegations and stuff. I'm about to post it in chat, but I want to say first, don't use this as a witch hunt. It just is informatively documenting all the allegations, who they're against, what they're saying this person did, who's making these allegations, what proof is there, what is the accused response to these allegations. So it's informative. It's not a blacklist. It's not a go harass this people list. It's just an informative list so you can stay up to date. So I'm going to post that in chat now that I have it. Wow. It broke. Well, you're gonna have to copy paste that. I'm sorry, but it is in there. Apparently, that's asterisk that's in that is just screwing everything up. You can also just Google it. It started as a Medium post, but it actually got too big, and Medium is apparently too hard to edit quickly, so they changed it to a Google Sheet. So with this outpouring of people's experience, Twitch put out a pretty vague statement near the end of the 21st, and I'm going to read it to you. It's just a Twitter post. It's an image. We take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously. We are actively looking into the accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. We're thankful for the bravery shown by those who have come forward to speak about their experiences, and we are committed to working to make the streaming community safer for everyone. So that's a nice statement, but it's kind of a Jim, as Jim Sterling would put it, we hear your concerns. Like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? And I think people were generally unimpressed. It was kind of a just buy us some time kind of statement. I will say it's better than making no statement at that point. But they clearly weren't ready to do anything. So they just made a statement just to have a statement out there, just so they don't have no statement. People were generally unimpressed, and kind of through social media, this thing, yo, what's up, Conster? Thanks for the raid. Anyone just joining from that raid? We are talking about the Twitch blackout. It's some pretty serious-ish. So, content warning for, misogyny and sexual misconduct and etc. I just don't want anyone to be shocked. So with the kind of unimpressive response to Twitch and from Twitch, people started talking about doing this Twitch blackout, which is basically just don't stream on Wednesday. Just no stream on Wednesday. Don't stream. Or then different people had different takes on it. It came together very quickly. By Saturday or Sunday, people were talking about it, and they're already doing it Wednesday, a few days later. So there wasn't a lot of time to organize exactly what the plan was, but some people just didn't stream, and on other social media, they posted, about the Twitch blackout and why they're not streaming. Some people chose to stream, but it was just a static image with information. It wasn't an actual interactive Twitch stream. Some people did streams like this where we talk about it. I chose to wait until the day after to talk about it, but I chose to not stream that day, and then today I'll talk about it. Some people still streamed, and I'll talk about it. I'm not mad about it, but we'll talk about it in a second. Part of the problem, first problem is that it came about so quickly they didn't really have a lot of time to communicate. So if you want to do something like this, it should have been next week or something, so a lot of people can get on board. I appreciate everyone who didn't stream in solidarity. I still appreciate everyone who streamed a static image, or everyone just had a Q&A, information, awareness raising stream. And I don't blame anyone who did because it was so last minute. I also don't blame, I know a lot of people, some people, it's easier if you're a bigger streamer. Because if you're Northern Lion talked about this on his Check the Wire podcast. And if you're he didn't say what I'm about to specifically say, just to be clear. But if you're that size streamer, it's kind of it's not going to make or break your career to skip your Wednesday stream. You're one of the bigger, when he goes live, he's always at the top of my followed list, unless GDQ is happening. That's the only time he's not at the top. So, and if it's a small streamer like me, I'm not dependent on Twitch for my income, so I can safely afford to do that. But there's this in-between streamer that missing a stream would be could be actually a setback, and it would affect them financially. And I kind of understand if they just chose to stream. I would hope people would be brave and stand up for themselves or stand up for other people. But I also know you got to pay the bills at the end of the month, and especially these days where everything's crazy. It's really important. So I'm not mad at anyone who chose to stream. Generally, it wasn't hugely impactful. If the goal, it was kind of unclear what the goal was too, because it was so quickly thrown together. If the goal was to reduce Twitch viewership by that metric, it was clearly a failure because it barely made a dent in the total Twitch viewership. Like if you looked live, like just live still had like 100, just chatting still had like 150,000 people watching, like in the middle of day on a Wednesday or something. So not exactly impressive, but the effect that it did have is if you Google Twitch right now, you'll find probably of the first like 20 news articles that show up, probably about 18 of them, I would guess, last time I checked, are talking about either the gaming industry and they mention Twitch, or they're specifically about like the problem, the sexism problem with Twitch. So that was a big like media circus success because that's going to snowball if Twitch doesn't do anything about it. And there are going to be more articles and more articles. And some of them, you know, like the usual places that you would expect to see a piece like this, like Polygon wrote a piece about it. But it wasn't just gaming news. New York Times wrote an article about it. And they don't, you know, they're a very mainstream news source. So it put Twitch in a negative light, especially if they choose not to do anything about it. So in that way, it was a success. And it kind of pushed Twitch to do something. And when did they post this? June 24th. So at the end of the day of the blackout, they posted a blog. I'll give you a link to the blog, and I'm also going to read a small excerpt. It's a little too long for me to decide to read here on stream verbatim. We want to provide an update on our investigations into the recent allegations of sexual abuse and harassment involving Twitch streamers and actions we're taking. We are reviewing each case that has come to light as quickly as possible while ensuring appropriate due diligence as we assess these serious allegations. We've prioritized the most severe cases and will begin issuing permanent suspensions in line with our findings immediately. In many of the cases, the alleged incident took place off of Twitch, and we need more information to make a determination. In some cases, we will need to report the case to the proper authorities who are better placed to conduct a more thorough investigation. For those who have come forward and would like to share additional information, and to anyone who hasn't shared their experience and wants to do so, you can report confidentially through the reporting tools on each streamer's channel page. We're also committed to continue our efforts to make Twitch a safer environment, a review of our hateful conduct and harassment policies, enhance offensive username detection, improvements to AutoMod, ban words lists, and other projects. Those who come forward have shown incredible strength, vulnerability, and bravery. And there's a little more, but it's, you know, kind of standard corporate talk. So that was a stronger statement. And shortly after this, I think they issued something like 5 bans. I don't usually, there's a Twitter account that like posts if like a Twitch partner is banned. And first of all, I don't even know how it determines that. But, so it posted 5, I think it was 5. It's tough because I don't even know all of the names involved because there's so much and it's not centralized, you know, it's all over Twitter and stuff like that. But there were 5, I think about 5 people that were banned. It's not clear to me whether they're permanent, but Twitch is making it sound like they're permanent. And some of them were pretty big name streams. Like actually, if you look at your global emotes, you will notice that some of them are missing because they were based from some of those streamers. So like they actually had to go in and delete some of their global emotes because of that. I'm not going to say the names. Someone in chat just mentioned it, but I'm not going to say the names because I promise not to. But yeah, like some of them are gone, and it's actually a big thing. So while I was off on Wednesday, I kind of got into a Twitter discussion with a much bigger partnered streamer. I'm not going to say his name again because I don't want to, again, my goal is not to send harassment anyone's way, even though this guy clearly didn't do anything wrong. But and he's someone who I think is going to be receptive to the problem, but he's kind of asked, and I kind of intellectually knew that this was a problem already, but what's the demands? Like you see Black Lives Matter, just to compare to like another movement happening right now, not to compare, like murder is like extremely serious. So I don't want to compare the two. I don't feel like anyone wins in that situation, but they have gone through a lot to make clear demands, and not all of them agree on exactly what they want, but there's a general voice that they want certain kinds of reforms. And then it's kind of up to the politicians to squabble about exactly how they're going to implement them and how they're going to take those demands and turn them into actual policy. But so that was one of the things. It's kind of like, you know what? I don't really have a concise list of demands or even suggestions. So I sat down some time and I looked at some people who had made, like, starting to make lists like these, and just some random off the wall suggestions that were in the hashtag Twitch blackout hashtag on Twitter. And I made a few my own. But I again like to say that I am a straight white dude, and I don't know what it's like to be like sexually harassed significantly in any way in the workplace. Not to say that I've never ever felt it, but I've never had it. Like, you know, maybe I felt like 1% of what most women feel on Twitch. Like I felt like not even a shadow of it. So I don't mean to put myself out there as like the be all end all and like these are our demands, but these are my ideas. And if they inspire anyone to come up with derivative ideas or better ideas, then take them. And if you're like, hey, you know what? These suck, then you can just take them as a starting point and move on to something else. But again, I feel like this is my backyard. You know, we're all part, and I'll get to this in a second, but we're all part of the Twitch community. We build Twitch. So even as a small-time streamer who doesn't have a ton of influence, I feel responsible for creating a good environment on Twitch. We're all responsible for it. We can't know true Scotsman. We can't say, oh, it's those streamers over there that are the problem. We all have to work towards making a better place. Now, we need the backing of corporate Twitch. Don't get me wrong. We can't do it without corporate Twitch because there's going to be streamers that drag their feet. But corporate Twitch also can't do it without us. Yeah, we need to work as a community. So I'm going to put it, this is going to cover my beautiful face, and I know you're all disappointed, but I'm going to put what I wrote up on stream, and then I'm going to kind of read about it. So these are 6 bullet points. A couple of them bleed into each other a little bit. I could have made it 5 or 4 or something, but I decided to go with 6. Yeah, absolutely, Phantomire, absolutely. So my first suggestion was quicker, more visible, more serious punishments for Twitch partners, or it could say partners and affiliates, who discriminate or act in a hateful manner. It will probably require like an overhaul of the system for reporting streamers and some way to submit proof and an explanation to Twitch, not just kind of like point them to, oh, in this video at this time, he acted mean to me, or like he sent me this message. And I strongly feel, this third bullet point is probably the strongest one. I strongly feel we need to view any official social media that is an extension of, like if you have an official Twitch, like my Twitch is under my stream name and it has a link to my stream on it. My Twitter account is with my stream name and it has a link to my Twitch right on at the top of my Twitter. And I post whenever I go live, I post on there. I feel that my Twitter is therefore an extension of my stream. If I have an official Discord, which I actually made one and then I kind of like decided against it. I just don't think my community really needs it right now, but who knows, maybe. If I have an official Discord, I feel like my Discord, anything that happens on my official stream Discord should be viewed as an extension on my stream. Maybe if I have like a separate Discord with my friends, that's whatever. But if it's like, this is my Twitch Discord that I advertise in my stream, you know, Nightbot is telling people, hey, join my Discord. This should extend to my Discord. And in real life as well, if I go to TwitchCon, even anywhere, like if I go to GDQ, if I go to PAX, if I go to anywhere where I'm kind of advertising that, yeah, I'm a Twitch streamer, that's an extension of my stream. So I kind of need to have a good environment out there as well. So I think it's fair game to report to Twitch, hey, this person is being, discriminatory on his official Discord. This person posted something discriminatory to his Twitter. I think it's kind of a gray area if it's not like really yours. Definitely if it's just like a random Discord you're in, like let's say you join someone else's Discord. But if it's your official Twitch Discord, like you got to be responsible for what's posted on there, for what you post on there at the very least. And then some sort of two-way communication with Twitch where it's like if you send a report, it doesn't just go into the void and then maybe you find out later. Like one of the cases that kicked this off was an allegation that Twitch apparently knew about, they claim, over a year ago, and they didn't do anything about it until just recently. So there has to be like a two-way communication where it's like, hey, here's what we're doing, we're investigating. Twitch can ask for more information if they need it, and they can also send a response. Even if the response is like, hey, I'm sorry, like, we don't find that this meets our policies at this time, but we'll continue monitoring. And then you don't need to broadcast every ban, I think. But, if someone is banned for like hateful stuff, I think that kind of should be broadcast to the best of the ability that Twitch can legally do. There may be some legal concerns and restraints there. You don't want Twitch to get sued for libeling someone. But, like, to the best of their ability, it should be put out there. If there's a scandal, Twitch has to say, we're standing up. They shouldn't just like silently ban someone, in my opinion. Number 2 is better chat moderation tools kind of built into the system. Twitch already touched on this, but more auto bans on hateful usernames. You shouldn't be able to register. But people will find ways around it, but we should make it hard for them. We shouldn't make it easy. Like auto bans on hateful usernames, maybe even auto bans on certain like phrases in chat or stuff like that, where like they're just kind of universally blanket banned. You'd have to be very, very careful with that. And again, people are going to find their ways around it. But just possibilities to look into. Restrict the ability for new accounts to do certain things. So you don't have new accounts like spamming or flooding chats or things like that. And then more universal consequences for harassment. Like if you're getting banned from multiple individual channels, that should kind of trigger Twitch to go like, what's this person doing? Why has he been banned from 4 streams in the past 5 minutes? Something like that. And to kind of nip those problems in the bud. 3 kind of bleeds into 2, but better self-moderation tools for smaller streamers. So my idea was like, if you're being harassed, if you're being targeted, it's not just like an individual harasser. And I fear for a lot of the women that came forward because like, look what happened with prior incidents where women came forward. They're almost universally get harassed. They get the short end of the stick. So something where you can kind of wall yourself off. And my idea was basically shut down your follow button and put chat in follow only mode, like follower only mode, and just basically like close down your stream to new people. And that way you can stream to your existing community. You don't have to quit streaming. Or maybe, have moderators approve followers or something like that. There's a million different ways you can put takes on that, but something to allow yourself to block yourself off, as well as the abilities for streamers to individually IP ban, so you don't have someone just constantly registering new accounts. Some 13-year-old kid with nothing better to do, just registering new accounts on Twitch and getting banned all day. Yeah, some smaller streamers have gotten harassed by bigger streamers. That's a big problem as well. And like little things, like I actually know some people used to do gift subs to like, there was a channel with some kind of transphobic emotes, or that could be construed as transphobic. They maybe weren't inherently transphobic, but people liked to, I've heard stories of people giving gift subs to that channel to trans women so they would have the transphobic emotes as a form of harassment. And so little things like gaming the system in unintended ways to harass people needs to be clamped down. And I mean, one of the obvious ones to me is why you can turn this off in settings, but why is it not off by default? Why can someone give you a gift sub to a channel that you don't even follow? That doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, in the event that someone is getting harassed, or in the worst case, that someone's sending a malicious raid from one channel to another, yeah, it's so disrespectful. It actually riled me up a little bit when I first read about it. Some way for them to wall themselves off completely. And then maybe if it's a smaller problem, like one individual person keeps coming back, a way to target IP bans. And I also kind of feel like if you're banned from a channel, you kind of should be banned from that stream as well. It's not entirely clear to me. To be honest, I don't know of any channels I'm banned from, but my understanding is that you can still watch the stream even though you're banned from chat. It's basically just IRC, like you're banned from the IRC channel. So I don't really understand why you would be allowed to log into your account that's banned from that stream and then still watch it. And then the IP ban would be so you can't just like log out of your account and watch it, or create a new account and watch it. Like it really is like you're blocked from that stream. Now, that would kind of suck for people with dynamic IPs. So I know that an IP ban, and then there's VPNs and stuff. So it's not cure-all, but it makes it harder. Like a lot of this, people will not harass. If you make it harder for people, they won't be as willing to go through and do this kind of crap. So even if it's not foolproof, I think there's some value in making it harder for people to do this. Yeah, I feel you too, Conster. I mean, I feel you too. That was the way I was always taught. Golden rule, man. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Like even if you don't understand someone, if they're different from you, why harass them? I just don't understand it. Number four. This is a requirement. This is actually something the other streamer pointed out to me that I was like, I always consider this to be going above and beyond. And it was because it was always framed that way to me. And I never really examined that. Requirements for partners and affiliates to have some sort of effort to moderate their chat and community. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect, but mod requirements for partners, I think some affiliates can probably self-moderate up to a certain level. Like if you have 10 viewers on average or something, you probably don't need like a full moderation team. But you probably need to have, especially if you're a partner, if you're reaching that level, like 70-ish viewers a stream or more, you're going to need dedicated mods because you're not going to be able to keep up with chat while you're playing. So you need dedicated mods to moderate the chat. And you need to kind of enforce like, hey, these are the chat rules. And we don't allow hateful crap here. Basically, we don't allow trash talking. We don't allow that whole kind of thing. I know sometimes there's like a little bit of like a mock the streamer. And sometimes I even like that, honestly, when people do that in my chat. A little bit like rag on the streamer. But there's a difference between like, wow, streamer, why don't you just shoot the Pharaoh man? Like, if you'd shot him, you would have won. And, like serious hateful harassment. And then I think there should be punishments for failure to control your own chat. And I feel like, again, this extends outside of Twitch. If you have a Twitter account and you post hateful crap on there, or even like if you have a Discord and you allow your community to post hateful crap or, organize harassment on your Discord, that's still an extension of your Twitch stream to me. So you should not be allowed to do that. And there should be consequences for it. And I think, you probably start off with some warnings or something. But if someone really refuses to rein in their chat, I honestly feel like they should be maybe just ejected from partner and affiliate. Like you can't, giving someone, even affiliate, but definitely a partner, because partner is individually reviewed. Like affiliate, if you just meet the requirements, congrats, you're an affiliate. It's honestly like it's so easy. But if you're, I guess I shouldn't say that because a lot of people just starting out who put in a lot of work to get affiliate. It's hard when you're a very new stream, but like if you find your niche and you start going with it, it's not too hard to get affiliate and it's automatic. But even if you have the requirements to apply for partner, someone still has to manually review your application and it can still get turned down even if you have the necessary numbers. So I feel like that kind of, especially with partner, means that Twitch has given your stream the stamp of Twitch approval. And so now you're also a reflection of Twitch corporate. You're not just Twitch culture anymore. you are you're approved by Twitch corporate. You're approved by Twitch the company. So you really need to make sure you moderate and that you don't, do anything like that, and that you set a good example for Twitch. And I mean, obviously, this is an entertainment business, so things are going to be a little loose and funny, and it's okay to make jokes, but there has to be limits. There has to be hard limits set. And this is kind of what I was talking about before. It's up to us. Like, we're all demanding that Twitch corporate, that Twitch company do these things, but at the same time, we build our communities. We structure our communities. We take part in, our community memes and the blue check mark. We like take part in our community memes, and then usually like there's even a feedback loop. We'll like chat, we'll kind of come up with something silly meme, and then the streamer will upload an emote of that meme, and now it's an even bigger thing. And the streamer comes up with like the name of the group of all their subs, like welcome to the Lion Pride, again to take from Northernlion. So there's a two-way street there, and we are responsible for the communities we build, no matter how big or small. So obviously you can't control, especially if you're get 10K viewers, you can't control all of them. You're not going to be able to. So you shouldn't be punished if something slips through, but you should be expected to try. You should be expected to make an honest effort to guide your community in the right direction, to be a welcoming place. I know Northernlion talked about he used to feel bad, and he said that finally he got sick of it and he kind of started to put his foot down. He used to feel bad because he would invite people to be on his stream, and he had a big stream, and like the people he invited on would get roasted. And then so he felt like it was kind of like he was inviting them to like step into the fire, and it's something that he's finally gotten sick of, it sounds like. But like we're responsible for that. If we cultivate that thing where if you come on as a guest on this guy's stream, you're in the crosshairs. We've cultivated that community, and we can also change it, and we can steer it in the other direction. Number 5, this is something that was suggested to me. I want to be clear, this is suggestions I've taken from other people, but it's improved Twitch event culture. I've never been to TwitchCon, but from what I hear, it's kind of got like a drunk party atmosphere. I've seen pictures of, like tables with just solo cups full of beer, like little clear plastic cups full of beer sitting out. And there's like, beyond just the safety thing, like there's no one really watching those drinks, but there's no one monitoring how much you drank. And then my understanding is that a lot of the networking events, and this is not just a Twitch thing, this is a whole game industry thing. A lot of the networking events are kind of, like they're parties. You go to a party to network. And if you don't party, actually Kotaku made a really good article about Nicalis. And I'm not going to, again, I can't verify any of the stuff posted in there. I know the CEO of that company apologized. But, there's some pretty heavy allegations that basically, like, you weren't taken seriously if you didn't get drunk at their parties. And it could actually affect, it could actually infect your career if you refuse to get drunk with them. But what if you don't handle your alcohol well? What if you're not used to drinking? Or what if, you don't feel safe getting drunk around these people? So it creates a really bad situation, and especially for women, because it tends to be women that get taken advantage of in those situations. Not to say that it doesn't happen to men. It definitely happens to men. It's just a frequency thing. I'm not trying to diminish what any man has been through. But I think that Twitch has to start turning those events around from what I hear. And one of the things they should be doing is doing officially sponsored, non-alcoholic, non-party networking events. I work in a pretty loose industry, let's say it that way. And I can't say that I've never had a few drinks at a networking party, but I've always felt like an ass afterwards. And I kind of, actually, I don't drink much anymore, period. So, all I'll say is that and I didn't even get all that drunk, and I still felt like an ass that I had more than I probably should have. Um, you just got to turn the culture around. It's got to be taken seriously. Like, especially TwitchCon. Like, yeah, it's fun, but it's also a networking event. Like, it is a professional event. So you kind of do have to reflect that if you want to be taken seriously as a company. And then 6, I'm sorry to call you out, Twitch, but from what I hear, Twitch corporate culture has to improve. Now, this is hard, first off, because it's opaque. Twitch, sure, Twitch projects their corporate values to us, just like any company nowadays does. But we don't really get a look at how it actually functions inside. And one of the things that they've studied, and this will actually make the company better. One of the things that they've studied, especially with younger, like millennials and Gen Z, is that they get, like, millennials really like companies that have corporate values, like strong corporate values, but there is a severe backlash where, to the point where it'd probably be better just to not have corporate values at all if you put forward corporate values and then get caught being hypocritical about them, and people see that they're just for show. It would almost, like, if you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar trying to pretend you care about something while actively undermining it, like, it's actually like a worse situation than if you just didn't pretend to care in the first place. So that's one of the hardest ones, because again, I can't tell Twitch how to do that at all. I don't know what their company structure is like or anything like that. The one thing I'll say is it's going to need real change from the top down, and it's going to have to come from corporate leadership. Like, the very, very top of the company is going to have to make that a serious mission over the next year, and he's going to have to force it down the line. And it's not something you can't get some middle managers to sit on a diversity committee once a week and talk about it, and they don't have any real power, and that doesn't fix things. And I've seen it. That doesn't fix things. It needs to start with the very, very top of the company actively involved in it. And that's how you fix this kind of cultural problems. But again, we can put some of it on Twitch. Like we need Twitch corporate to get on the streamers that are really causing trouble and dragging their feet on moving forward. But we all also have to be willing to do that and help them out. I'm going to take this down now. We all have to be willing to back them up on that. Like, if we don't regulate our own communities and we don't regulate our own content as content creators, it's kind of hilarious to hear myself call me a content creator because my content is crap. It's Pharaoh Man resets for hours, but then it's not going to work, because we create our communities. We create our communities and we create our content. So every content creator on the platform has to make it their own personal mission as well to improve their community. Fortunately, my community is small enough where I don't have to worry about it. And I think everyone in chat right now is probably a pretty cool guy. Especially if you came out to actually like listen to me talk about this, it means you probably give some sort of a shit. You give some level of shit. You're at least curious. So, I mean, that's cool. Yeah, it's late here. I was thinking, like, do I want to actually play a game after this? No, I don't. I don't. I'm too tired, dude. I got. So this is where I'll cut the YouTube highlight, and then I'll just talk about my life for a second. But I want to thank everyone who listened to this at the end. I want to thank everyone who listened to the VOD. I want to thank anyone who listened to that. I haven't typed those notes up into like an easily like shareable Twitter image. I feel like someone smarter and more experienced with harassment than me should probably be the one to like really put together something concise and impactful. But I mean, if anyone wants to take that, I mean, feel free. You don't even have to give me credit. Like just run with it, change it however you want. Just try and make our communities better one at a time, and get on. If for the people that are dragging their feet, gotta get on Twitch corporate and tell them to move it. We can't sit on this. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.